Are Joe Rogan and Dave Chappelle right? Can anyone actually be woke enough? Welcome to Popcorn Planet. I am Andy Signore, and Dave Chappelle recently appeared on the Joe Rogan Experience. I previously just did a clip, but I can't show you any more clips from there because Spotify, man, they're coming against us hard if you pull any more clips from them. But I want to show you another piece that's been making the rounds around the news. And this little clip, it's short, so I'm going to have to read you the sections instead of playing the clip, sadly. If you want to watch the full episode, you got to go over to Spotify because we're apparently not allowed to commentate on the news. Spotify. But Dave Chappelle was on, and they talked about Elon Musk hosting Saturday Night Live. And that's when Joe Rogan went off in this little bit talking about how no one is really woke enough. They don't and they can't appreciate the fact that you're dealing with literally one of the most brilliant men that's ever lived that's going to come and do your show. Pausing for a second. Is Elon Musk the smartest man that's ever lived? More than Einstein? I mean, I don't know. There's a lot of smart people. He's smart. Do appreciate some of the things he's done, but I'm curious your thoughts. Tell me down in the comments. Is Joe overdoing it a little bit there? Either way, there's a second section here I want to read because I think this one he's spot on. I think the people that are complaining that he's going to be on Saturday Night Live, I think what's going on now is they want someone to be 100% compliant to whatever ideology they're part of, and any deviation from that is problematic. I mean, that is very spot on. He's right. That's what's happening right now in society to a degree that's insane. The fact that we can't just have any disagreements or people sort of understand, well, they have different opinions than me. That doesn't mean they're evil, terrible people. It just means we don't agree. But too many people right now, we just got to fight about our differences. But let's get to the point of what Chappelle sort of said in response to that. Chappelle, puffing on a cigarette for much of the interview, found the reaction of Musk puzzling. He's like, I don't know what sparked the criticism. He's like, again, like you said, no one can be woke enough. I'm torn because I like a warrior for good. Because, I'm really into tactics, he added. You're not going to nag people into behaving in a way that, in fact, if you continue with the tone, even if you're right, you'll be very hard to hear. And man, look, I know it's just like a little bit there, but I just connected this so much. I think Dave Chappelle, he really can say some things right on the nose. And this one right here, this part I've highlighted, it's really, really stuck out. He's so correct. We are become such a nagging society. It's a combination of what Joe's saying here too. It's the fact that we must be compliant to whatever our ideologies are. And we must nag people into behaving the way that, goes against our beliefs and our belief system. And the reality is everybody who keeps continuing to sort of constantly nag and tell us that we're terrible in what we're doing, it just becomes, you become, silent to it. It's just like mute to it, rather. Even if you're right, you're going to be very hard to hear. People just don't understand it. And this community culture, this society we live, especially social media, with everyone just trying to be right and say they're better than us, this virtue signaling, etc. It's getting to a point where I used to just sort of ignore it, but it's hard to anymore. And you see the division out there in society. It's crazy. Chappelle continued to go on and talked about the fact that Elon Musk was incredibly kind when he met him. I teased him about being the richest man in the world, Chappelle told Rogan. He took it with good humor. Chappelle apparently met him years prior, but Chappelle didn't remember it. I'm like, I have no recollection, and he looked kind of hurt. But apparently they met a while ago after Chappelle's show ended. But yeah, this Elon Musk episode did really well, and it had a lot of people talking. Dave Chappelle's appearance, though, is clearly very popular. A couple other sound bites I was going to read for you guys in case you missed it, sort of best ofs that have been up there, highlights rather. This is where they talk about Elon Musk. But he also talked about sort of walking away from the 50 million at the height of the Chappelle show. You can watch that clip on YouTube, actually. But what was so remarkable when I walked away from the show is that it was against incentive. So people couldn't understand it at the time, he told Rogan. It was so much money. How could you do that? Blah, blah, blah. But, if I had taken that money and finished the show, I would have gotten the money, but I might have never been the same. I've never seen these things before. I didn't see anybody else do this and get back up. It was a wild experience, he continued. The way people close to you react to it, like I failed or ruined my life. And when you're cold, that phone doesn't ring that often. And I had over a decade sitting on that choice, but I didn't languish in that experience. I started doing stand-up for much better reasons than making it. Dude, bravo to Chappelle for doing that move. A lot of people did call him crazy. A lot of people thought he was over, but now he's made to come back, and he's even better because, look, he's good, right? He knows how to do it. He's actually funny. Puts his money where his mouth is. He's a talented comedic genius. So people will pay to hear what he wants to say. They also talked about gay rights, fight for equality. It's not like these things, violence and injustices, happen less often because people had to do things to make these things happen less often, change. It didn't happen organically, just like, okay, man, that's enough murder for us. People had to do some stuff. Gay marriage. People had to be made aware of how people were struggling. One of the great things of that movement is when everybody started coming out of the closet and everyone realized, oh, like 5 of my best friends are gay. And you realize, like, this person, more than you like, whatever prejudice you carry around. Again, I've always said that. It took some time. It took, like, Will and Grace, Modern Family. It took shows for people to sort of normalize the fact that, oh, this isn't this scary thing that's been telling me forever. I love Chappelle's tolerance and just sort of a way to put things out there. And then they also talk about Kevin Hart, who I've never been a huge fan of, but now this sort of might explain why Kevin Hart is still out there so much. First of all, who the F works harder than that guy, says Joe Rogan. Chappelle replies, nobody, not me, F that. Rogan then highlighted Hart's ever-growing list of projects, and he's relentlessly kind, and everybody that works with him looks elated and happy. He's not a tyrant. He's like hanging out with a self-help book or some stuff. He just makes you feel good. It's impossible not to like him. And in fact, in my mind, he's a great case scenario that a good person can do well in life because there are some cynics who believe they can't. Yeah, look, that's clearly why Kevin Hart has done well. I remember Ryan Reynolds, Jai Courtney's another one. There's about these people out there that people are like, how do they keep getting work? And I learned from some industry people, it's like, well, because they're really nice to work with. They're really good people on set. And that's why a lot of people still hire these guys. What's interesting, I'll end you here as we wrap up this video, but it's always interesting to see some comments. And I'm curious your thoughts. I want to hear your comments down below. Is Musk the smartest guy ever? Also, about the issue of wokeness. Can anyone be woke enough? And is Musk, a good guy? I want to hear your thoughts down below. I know a lot of my audience isn't hugely... When I made my last video about him hosting Saturday Night Live, I got a lot of divided fans because a lot of my Johnny Depp audience, because I've been fighting for justice for Johnny Depp, they're mad at Elon. But then some people feel like Elon got used by Amber, and so is it really his fault, or did he just get sort of wound up in it all? I'm curious your thoughts about it below. But some of these comments are usually interesting because it's for Hollywood insiders anonymously comment on Deadline. The issue with Musk wasn't woke. It was him acting like the worst version of Tony Stark, lying or manipulating info for his stocks and business that got him ousted from his position at Tesla, calling that man who helped those kids trapped in a cave, the PETA, without any info to back it up, downplaying the Rona and pushing for his businesses to reopen without making concessions for his workers to have the safety precautions in place. It's great that he's trying to help the environment. Doesn't mean he doesn't act like a creep. Yeah, well, you're acting like a creep right now. Einstein was a bad husband. Who cares? Care about people in your own life. Dave is such a great guy, but the sad truth, I know firsthand, Elon doesn't give a second thought to screaming at his employees and running them down. He's just a glorified factory manager who babbles on like he thinks he's Yoda. The fact that Joe thinks he's one of the most brilliant people ever, I said this against Plato, Hendrix, FDR, Kubrick, etc., says all you need to know about the weight of Joe's intellect. Ouch. No wonder he is always apologizing. There's different kinds of brilliance. Obviously, you give two examples of artistic brilliance and one of profound wisdom and one of ruthless leadership. Musk named his company after Tesla, who was an erratic genius. His own brilliance lies more in the realm of Tesla's rival, Edison, who may have been as brilliant as an inventor who actually got stuff done. Musk will never create an intercontinental death ray or earthquake machine. Both urban legends about Tesla. Wow, I need to look that up. But he has taken things like that humanity already knew how to do, but couldn't seem to get their act together and actually get it done. Technology for electric cars is old as internal combustion. It just lacked development and refinement. Yeah, exactly. So look, we keep going and going, but Elon Musk is a punk that got lucky. I got more brilliance in my left nut, and Joe Rogan is an idiot, just like most punchy bums who couldn't make it to the fight game. Yikes! So you got the Deadline comment section always is a fun area to really hear all sides, and it looks like people are not always agreeing on what's said here about Elon and Joe. But what do you guys think? I want to hear your thoughts down below. Do you agree with Joe and Dave on this topic? Are you Team Elon? Are you not Team Elon? Can anyone be woke enough? Who's woke enough? I want to hear your thoughts down in the comments. comments below. In the meanwhile, make sure you hit that subscribe button, smash that bell for all alerts. I know we say it all the time, but smash that like button and leave a comment for the engagement on any video channels you like. If you can't help us support by becoming a member, which you can always do by hitting join. If you can't do a monetary support, at least help us by the algorithm love, by showing comments, likes, and all that stuff. Thank you for making it this far. Really appreciate you guys. Stay tuned for more here on Popcorn Planet. It's Tuesday. We're going to be live tonight at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so make sure you stay tuned. Thanks for watching, everybody.